England is burning. People are rioting in the streets, setting cars on fire, terrorizing people. It's very ugly what's happening now. And in this video I will attempt to say a few words about the situation. England is my second home country, the way I see it. I've been there a lot, and it saddens me to see what's going on there now. It should come as no surprise, I will say. It's been a ticking bomb, so to speak. I was considering whether I should make this video or not. It's a very sensitive topic. It's a very divisive topic. And I don't want to contribute to the unrest, to the violence, to the hatred. But here I am making the video. Now let me put it this way. I hadn't been in England for a few years, and I got back and I was shocked because what I saw was no longer, and this is where it gets difficult to find the right words, but what I saw was no longer England. I know it's very racist to say that, but you know, no, it's not. And this is part of the problem, because people have not been allowed to speak their mind. And when people are not allowed to speak their mind, when people are not allowed to say what they think, when they're called racists and evil for calling out obvious problems with the effects, the negative effects of immigration. It's like putting a kettle on the fire, but closing it completely. It builds up pressure, you know, and eventually it's going to explode. And I think that's what we are seeing now. People are angry because they have been witnessing grooming gangs, rapes, murders, little children being stabbed to death. And what began as a protest, basically, has now become just a violent chaos. And I think that what we are looking at now is individuals who just want to see the world burn. What I'm hearing is that you have you have gangs of Muslim young men looking for trouble in the streets, and you have can I say hooligans, you know, doing crazy evil stuff like stopping cars to see if there are dark-skinned people in the cars, you know. It needs to stop. It just needs to stop. It's a horrible thing that's happening now. Most people, whether they come from a Middle Eastern, North African Muslim background, or if they're native English people, they just want to go on with their lives. They're not hateful. My life experience tells me that most people are good people. I truly believe that. And they're sort of caught in this horrible situation. They are witnessing their country burning. They are witnessing unrest at a level that almost looks like civil war. And at the same time, you know, the new government, the Labour government there, they seem to be unable, or should I say unwilling, to address the problem. It looks like to them this is purely a right-wing neo-Nazi thing happening. And certainly there are people like that out in the streets. But they seem to be unwilling to address the real problem, the underlying problem. And as long as they keep avoiding that, as long as they keep making it worse, the riots will continue. Because people have had enough. Now, I don't think that the riots will change anything. I think the riots will only make everything worse. The riots will create more hatred from both sides. And what we will see is that the government will implement a lot more surveillance. You'll see even more cameras on the street corners. Internet surveillance, of course, will increase. And this will take place in a country that is already full of rules and regulations and limitations. And I will say that for me, as a Norwegian coming to the UK, there are two main differences, no, three. The first is that there's people everywhere. Like, it's crazy. Everywhere you look, there are people. And number two is that there are rules and regulations everywhere. You can't walk that way, you have to walk this way, and you have to... It's very stressful. And the third difference is the class system. The class system that we don't have here in Norway. And the class system is part of the problem. Because, well, in the old days you had, of course, the nobles and the wealthy people, and you had, you know, the peasants, the workers down there. And in the UK it's still like that. And it's not fair. That's one thing, of course. It's just not fair to keep people down like that. But also it creates a hopelessness that makes it very easy for people to look in the mirror and tell themselves, I have nothing to lose, so I'm just not going to take it anymore. I'll go out and burn something in the streets. And I think that the class system in the UK is reflected in the political system. You have the political elite taking their orders from the World Economic Forum and the EU still. And it looks like they don't care so much about their own people. In my humble opinion. There might be exceptions there. But the new government now, I see them making all of the mistakes. And I have to wonder if it's intentional. You might hear some cars in the distance. That's because I am actually now right at the edge of my local forest. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel tremendously if you do that. I normally go a little bit further into the woods, but you know, today I just wanted to use this campsite here. And here's an airplane. Can you hear that? I want peace for England. I want people there to be happy and prosperous. I want my friends over on at that green island to have good lives. I want them to have all the opportunities for a good life. And I know, we kind of joke about this a little bit, that I'm like this, oh, you, the Viking and so on, and your ancestors came and raided and all that. And my apologies for that. I will say it's like 1,000 years ago, so, you know, so we can be friends now, and we are. There's this term, you know, I heard it many years ago, broken Britain. And I think I heard it first from a comedian, actually. And yeah, it's a good term for what has been happening in Britain for a long time. Degradation, is that the right word? Of the culture. Trashy culture. When you go to England, you know, or the UK as a whole, you see mainstream culture being stupid and trashy. Now that's a trend you see all over the place in the Western world, of course, but especially so in England and the UK. I think it has to do with pride, or a lack of pride in the cultures that are native to the UK. I have been told that you might be called a racist if you show the English flag. If you have the English flag on your balcony, people, well, of course now they will associate you with the hooligans in the streets, because they take that flag and they try to make it theirs. And I know how it goes, because actually the Nazis who occupied Norway during the Second World War, they took many of the Norse, the Old Norse symbols, and tried to make it theirs, which was a disgusting thing to do. But still, you know, we can't let bad people steal our identity. We cannot let that happen. I'm hearing rumors now that they will let violent offenders out of prison to make room for the people who have been protesting in the streets. And if that's true, you know, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire. They've already shown that they are more than willing to lock people up in their homes. They did that during COVID. Now they're showing that if you are protesting, they'll lock you up in prison. They'll punish you for that. But they seem to be unwilling to deal with the problems they have imported through immigration. People have strong opinions about this, which is natural. And I think that I might have said something wrong during this video. I'm not asking for forgiveness or anything, but you know, it's difficult. This is a difficult topic as well. Please share your opinion in the comment section. I will ask that everyone stays respectful and kind. And there's like 1 million videos already out there about this topic. Some people are extremely biased. Well, most YouTube creators seem to be very, very biased on this now. And I don't know. Maybe some people out there will call me a racist, and that's fine. You can do that if you want to. I know I'm not, so that's okay. Yeah, what can I say? Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this time with me out here. It is important that we keep the conversation going on this topic. Please consider subscribing. I will be back in a few days with another video. Until then, stay safe and stay strong.